This is the law of cosines. It's completely different than the law of sines. There should be no ambiguity with this guy. Everything that you discover should be true, and we use it the same way. It's going to be, when you're using the law of cosines, there can be some pretty nasty algebra in it. So be patient with your math. Make sure that you follow all your correct rules of algebra. And if you can do all that, you should be fine. It shouldn't be too big of a deal. So, but we can use this in any triangle. It doesn't have to be a right triangle. We can solve any triangle at all right now. So let's just dive in here and look at a problem. Let's say that we're given something where a is equal to 11, b is equal to 5, and big C is equal to 20 degrees. So anytime you're working out a law of cosines and we're asked to solve triangle ABC, then what we have to do is we have to figure out the angles, what each angle is, and we know that angle C is going to be 20 degrees. And then we also have to figure out all the sides. So on this, when you're doing your work, if you run into decimals, and you probably will, carry through 3 decimal places for sure, and make sure you get good stuff. So let's just label the triangle. We got a 20-degree angle here. We know that A is equal to 11, and we know that B is equal to 5. So here's our setup. So the side we're missing is side C. The side we're missing is side C. So let's use this guy right here. He would be the easiest one for us to use. So C squared equals A squared, 11 squared, plus B squared, 5 squared, minus 2 times B, 2 times A times B. Orders doesn't matter too much when you multiply. They're commutative. Times the cosine of 20 degrees. Make sure you're in degree mode on your calculator, or this will be one big gigantic mess. And then if you're going to just punch it into your calculator, remember that you can take the square root of both sides. Also keep in mind, when you take a square root, you get a positive or negative value. But since we are talking about a length, we just want positive values only. We do not want any negative values. So when you punch this into your calculator, you should get, let me punch it into my calculator. Squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 5 times 11 times cosine 20 degrees. And you get 6, and we want 3 decimal places here, so we're going to have 6.529. 6.529. So there's part C. Hey, guess what? B we know is 5, it was given. A we know is 11, it was given. And so now that I have now that I've got 3 sides and some angles in here, I can use the law of cosines again to find a missing angle. So let's say, for example, I'm missing angles B and A. So let's go for angle A. And if I'm going to go for angle A, I've got to use my top rule here. So now I'm going to say A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared, which we just discovered, And we want to carry through all three of those decimal places for accuracy. Even though it's an approximation, we want to be as close as possible. And then cosine A at the end. Well, we don't need to square root anything now, but we will need to move a few things around. So let's get some numbers here. I've got 121 is equal to, and then we can do 25 plus 0.6529 squared, or 6.529 squared. We can do that. Punch it in on your calculator, and again, carry through three decimal places. So this would be 67.628 minus, and then 10 times 6.529, which is 65.29. Cosine A. So what we're going to try and do, we want to get the cosine all by itself. We'll treat this as our big variable. So to do that, we're going to subtract 67.628 from both sides. 28. So 121 minus 67.628 is 53.372. Equals negative 65.29 cosine A. And then divide both sides by that negative 65.29. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the arctan, because I've got cosine all alone. So in order to figure out what A is, I'm going to take the arc cosine. I think I said arctan. I'm going to take the arc cosine of 53.372 divided by negative 65.29. And again, make sure your calculator's in degree mode so that you can get the correct thing. If you're in radian mode, then you will have some issues. So make sure you're in degree mode, not radian mode. And then you can just punch this in. So you're going to go with arc cosine and then negative 53.372 divided by 65.29. And you should get for A 144.83 degrees. 831. So 144.831 degrees, and there's only 180 degrees inside a triangle. So to get to my missing part, just subtract 20 plus 144, and this is actually A. So for B, I should have, let's see, 144.831 plus 20 minus 180. So 15.169. Alright, a pretty involved problem. We've got to do the law of cosines twice, but we're able to accurately solve out all the missing parts for my triangle, my ABC triangle. So hang in there, keep track of minus signs, and use what you know to find what you don't. Okay, using the law of cosines, let's solve out another triangle, and let's say we're going to solve triangle ABC. Except now we're going to be told that A is 9, B is 7, and C is 5. Yeah, okay. Well, you can try and do law of sines. It's not going to work because we're just missing too much information. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the law of cosines, and you can pick the angle that you want to solve for right off the bat. It doesn't matter. I know that A is going to be 9. I know that B is going to be 7, and I know that C is going to be 5. So I know these things. What I don't know are my angles, and you can just pick. Let's just start with the top guy. We'll just start with this guy, and we're going to solve it out for A. So this will be very similar to the way the first example ended. And what we'll do is we're just going to take 81 equals B squared, which is 49, plus C squared, which is 25, minus 2 times B times C cosine A. So this is where we're going to look, and we'll get an exact answer off of this, which is really nice. So do your math, and we can put together some things and clean it up just a little bit. So 49 plus 25 is 74, minus, and then 2 times 7 times 5 is 70 cosine A. Move the 74 over, and then divide by 70. So you've got 7 equals negative 70 cosine A. Oh, we don't need any of that stuff. And divide both sides by the negative 70. And when you do this, we can look at the arc cosine of negative 7 over 70, and that will give us our value for A. So punch that into your calculator. Make sure you're in degree mode. And you should get, for angle A, 95.7 degrees. And again, we want to go 3 decimal places, so 95.739. And then do the same steps again, and let's go for B squared. Just go with the next guy in line here. So let's go ahead and roll through the B squared guy now, and we're just going to take the exact same steps. We're not going to do anything different. And when we get done, we should be able to have identified 2 of the 3 angles. And if we've identified 2 of the 3 angles, we could subtract our last angle from, add up and subtract from 180. So B squared now, 49, equals A squared plus C squared minus 2 times AC cosine B. So 81 plus 25 is 106. Minus 90 cosine B. Subtract the 106 from both sides. Negative 57. Divide both sides by that negative 90, and then take the arc cosine. And a negative divided by a negative is positive, so we don't need that guy. Punch that in on your calculator. Make sure you're in degree mode when dealing with triangles. And again, 3 decimal places, so this is going to be 50.704. 50.704. And that's angle B. And there's only 180 degrees inside a triangle, so 180 minus angle A minus angle B, and you should get 33.557. And that's all there is to it. So it's not horrible, but pay attention. There's some places where you could go wrong. Don't forget what you've learned about your Algebra 1. Don't forget what you've learned about Algebra 1. Keep your rules in mind about solving for a variable, and you'll be okay.